Hey, social media, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of VGC Prep. My name is Ryan, and I'm here to bring you through these battles. So what these battles are, they are highlights from the stream that I had on Tuesday. And basically, you can see the entire team that we used right on that bottom row down there. Landorus, Therian, Talonflame, Smeargle, Kangaskhan, Cresselia, and Sylveon the Mega being Kangaskhan. And before you guys attack me for using such an overused team, it kind of inspired the question of the day. I tried really hard to make this team something that people would not expect. So I take the very popular Con Artist lead, which is Kangaskhan and Smeargle, and I utilize the fear of Dark Void and Fake Out to get a Trick Room up and a second Kangaskhan on the field on my side. So basically, it hurts a lot. And you know, I think the only real standard set that I'm running is on Sylveon, which is just a standard Life Orb, Hyper Voice kind of thing, and Talonflame, which is a Choice Banded Talonflame, which does run me first, which I try to use during the stream, but unfortunately, well, no spoiler alerts, there was one battle where it might have worked had my opponent been using what I wanted him to. So basically, you know, this is a Trick Room team that I really like using. It's disgustingly powerful. We went on the stream from 1607 to a 1720 in about an hour and a half. I'm not entirely sure if that time frame is good, if that time frame's quick, but for me, that's very awesome. So we're gonna get straight into this battle. Now, I let off with Kangaskhan and Cresselia because I did not see a reason to bring Smeargle because, you know, he had the Lucario, which could have priority. I think there was something else that he didn't actually bring that I saw. Oh yeah, it was the Liepard. The Liepard was basically the biggest deterrent. So here I'm going to Mega Evolve, and, you know, I'm kind of trying to think, alright, is this Lucario going to go straight for the close combat into the Kangaskhan? Is the Liepard going to let me set up and then Encore me? And something I didn't realize at the start of the stream using this team, that Mental Herb actually blocks Encore. I did not realize that. So I was honestly a little worried about it. Now, he does go for the Fake Out onto my Cresselia this turn, but like I predicted, he did attack into the Kangaskhan. Now, him going for Aura Sphere means that he is not physical, so I'm going to be able to switch out into my Talonflame, because Aura Sphere is not going to hurt nearly as much as a close combat. And he actually decides to Encore my Kangaskhan, which I found a little weird, because why would I be staying in versus the Lucario? You know, I have no reason to do that. So I go for Helping Hand here, expecting the Encore, not exactly realizing that Encore does not affect me. Because otherwise I would have gone, like, get some damage off onto the Liepard. And I go for Brave Bird. I just wanted to take out that Lucario as fast as I possibly can. And unfortunately, he predicted that very well. So he's gonna switch out here, and, you know, I'm thinking he's just gonna Encore me into Helping Hand, and if I don't just go for it this turn, it's going to be a waste of a turn. So I'm going to go for it anyway. I have nothing really to lose by being Encored into Helping Hand, because Choice Banded Brave Bird plus Helping Hand every single turn is just going to do insane amounts of damage. Now, you do notice that I have Trick Room up, but I'm not really using Trick Room. That's because I was put in a position where I wanted Kangaskhan in there, which would outspeed pretty much the rest of his team, you know, under Trick Room. But, yeah, because of the Lucario and stuff like that, I definitely had to switch out. So in comes Greninja, and as you saw, I literally one-shot that Garchomp, which is amazing. And as you notice, I'm not really attacking into the Liepard, because as of this point, usually when you see a Liepard user, they're already spamming Swagger, they're already spamming T-Wave, they're already doing all that jazz. So I wasn't too worried about it, and I figured, you know what, it's Focus Sash, so what's the real point? However, it does get a Night Slash off on me, and does take out my Talonflame, which does kind of suck in a bit of a in somewhat of a way. But yeah. So I knew he had the Lucario in the back, so I figured my best bet was to go into Kangaskhan. I do believe I brought Sylveon in the back. I went for Helping Hand here, obviously because I'm locked into it, and he goes for Taunt, which is interesting. I get where he's coming from that. Because, you know, now I'm like locked into Helping Hand, but I can't, or Trick Room, but I can't do it, so I basically struggle. But yeah, I went for Fire Punch there to take out the Lucario, and right there he forfeits because there's no way he can win. I did have the Sylveon in the back, so I would just switch out to the Sylveon. He probably did not have Swagger because they usually spam it. So that was that battle. Really cool. I think that was literally the first battle, so that was a really awesome first battle. So let's get into the second battle. Now, I was looking at his team, and I saw the Blaziken and the Hydreigon, and there were two others that he had, obviously, because, bring 6. And I thought, you know what? This might be a good chance to get up my Smeargle's combo. I think this might be a good chance. So out comes Kangaskhan and Smeargle, and I'm like, maybe not. Because you could very easily go for Fake Out and then Hyper Voice, which would definitely take out my Smeargle. So I was trying to think what the best play here would be. And I was honestly considering that the Kangaskhan, the opposing Kangaskhan, would try and get rid of the Smeargle. So I go for Spiky Shield here, hoping to get maybe some chip damage off onto the Kangaskhan and take that Fake Out. Now, he does actually go for Low Kick, and I'm designed to survive this, so it's not a big deal. However, I only have an 18.8% chance to not one-hit KO this thing. And unfortunately, that 18% chance did kick in. So, unfortunately, I will lose my Kangaskhan this first turn without taking out my opponent's Kangaskhan, which is very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Very, very indeed. So, now kind of in a bit of a position. The Moody goes off. I get Evasiveness, which is kind of nice. So I'm in a good position, but I think on stream I actually missed that. I did not see that happen. But I do end up staying in here, and what I do is kind of funny. I actually transform into the Talonflame. I basically thought this Sylveon will be going for Hyper Voice. And so my best play really is to switch is to transform into Talonflame, and now I have 2 priority Pokemon on the field, which is great. Now right here, guys, right here is where the funniest thing happens, I do believe, and I think I was talking about this in the last battle. So what I do is I Brave Bird the Sylveon, and it almost takes it out, right? Oh, okay, and then I go for Brave Bird again. I think it might be next turn then. My Brave Bird into the Kangaskhan, hoping to take it out, but obviously he switches out here. And he goes for Hyper Voice, and that doesn't take out my Smeargle, but it does take out my Talonflame. So I do believe this is the turn where I try something fun, and it kind of messed me up. So he goes for Helping Hand here, and I go for Me First. I Me Firsted on the Sylveon, hoping he would go for Hyper Voice, so I can just catch the Hydreigon, and I thought that would be really awesome, but unfortunately he didn't. So both of them still go down, so it's really not the end of the world, but that's like kind of what I was hoping with that Talonflame, to get the Me First off, get like something like Hyper Voice off, hit it. I don't think it would have taken out the Hydreigon, but I obviously had my own Sylveon in the back regardless, so it didn't really make that much of a difference. So out comes Talonflame Kangaskhan and Blaziken. So I kind of figured he'd fake out my Talonflame. There's no real way around that. And I figured he'd take me out here regardless, with the Blaziken. I didn't see Overheat. I figured a Flare Blitz, but he actually does take out my Sylveon there. So that's the first loss, but it was really close to using that Me First. I was very excited when I figured out I could do that because I wasn't banded into it. So that's what happened. We're not going to look at that battle. Long story short, I played really badly, and I let the Glaceon and Abomasnow basically just blizzard my whole team to death. I believe there was some hacks involved. The Cresselia got frozen, but it wasn't really that good of a battle. I'm not showing it because I lost. I'm not showing it because that was right. I'm not showing it because I lost. I'm not showing it because it was a really bad battle. It was like 2, maybe 4 turns. I got frozen. I missed something because he was Snow Cloak with the Glaceon, so I missed a very crucial attack. It just wasn't a good battle, and as you saw, I just showed you guys a battle where I lost. So this guy had a Meowstic and a Bisharp, something that we hadn't seen yet in the stream, and there were some battles that I legitimately forgot to to save. So I saw the Meowstic, and I'm like, alright, he's just going to go for Quick Guard. So I'm going to go for U-turn, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. So I do go for U-turn. And I'm trying to think, you know, what is my best switch in? Now, that does a lot. I was really happy that that did a lot. We predicted the Quick Guard. We got the U-turn off. We pretty much beat the Meowstic this turn because I went for Hyper Voice. I decided to go into Cresselia because it was the best thing I had in the back to take a Hyper Voice. She actually crits me with the Hyper Voice, but we still survive. And we end up taking out the Meowstic as well. So that was a really good turn for us. I was very happy about that turn. Unfortunately, you know, we are very close to losing our Sylveon here. So this is not very good. And in comes Charizard, which I'm assuming is going to be Y, which I really don't have a way to hit with my Sylveon. But I think I do end up going for a Protect this turn to kind of scout what's going on. And the switch into Bisharp, while kind of makes sense on my opponent's side, actually is going to help me in the long run because I run Hidden Power Fire. So the Sun plus the Hidden Power Fire will be more than enough to take out the Bisharp. So in a good way, we're pretty solid. And I do go for Trick Room here with my Cresselia. So we will survive the Heat Wave. There's no doubt about it. And considering, you know, how their Sylveon outsped us the first turn, I'm going to be in a pretty solid position to, you know, outspeed next turn. Now, I knew the Sucker Punch would come, but I was really hoping it wouldn't take me out. You know, I resisted. I'm decently bulky. I go for Ice Beam onto the Bisharp. Sounds like a weird play, but I was just in case the Bisharp was Focus Sash, that would allow me to basically take it out without having to worry about it knocking me off or something. So unfortunately, he does take out both of my Pokemon, and I bring out my Kangaskhan and my Talonflame. So it's gonna be hard because I want to lock myself into Brave Bird because that's definitely my best move option. But obviously Bisharp resists it. Now, we saw that the Bisharp had Life Orb, so Sucker Punch is going to hurt, but he actually chooses Talonflame, and it almost takes me out, which is really unfortunate because I really needed Brave Bird for the Sylveon. And with the Sun, you know, I decided Fire Punch onto the Bisharp was the best. I go for Brave Bird on Charizard, and honestly, it's such a powerhouse move that it just one-shots that Charizard. But unfortunately, I end up losing my Talonflame here. So right now it's going to basically be Kangaskhan versus Sylveon. I think my Kangaskhan's at full health. The Sylveon is not at full health, but still like kind of close to full health. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what my best play is. Am I going to survive the Hyper Voice? I don't know. I go for Protect. I don't remember the exact reasoning why. I think I just wanted to scout, see what he was going to do. I was considering going for the double Protect, and there really was a reason for that. I don't remember what it was. There was a reason for the double Protect, and I honestly cannot figure it out right now. There's a reasoning behind it. I really don't remember. I know I remember sitting there on the stream saying, I might want to go for double Protect here, but I just don't remember why, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, I have no idea. But basically, those were 3 of the battles. We have a bunch more left. Really, I like this team a lot. I know it's kind of like overused, and that puts some people off, but I think I put my own unique spin on it. It's obviously a Trick Room team. The only problem I'm having right now is the set for Landorus. I don't know its speed tier because I've literally never used it outside of this team. So I keep messing up with that, so I have to look into that. But the other Pokemon do excellent jobs. Smeargle's really good at catching people off guard. Because, you know, you look at this team, you're definitely not going to think Trick Room. You might think there's like a Trick Room option, but for the most part, it's not Trick Room. You know, like, oh, if you get a Tailwind up, I'll go for Trick Room. But for the most part, it is Trick Room. Everything's slow. The only fast things are Talonflame and Smeargle. And Talonflame is only fast. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that doesn't really make sense. It's only fast to outspeed other Talonflames, but if I have Trick Room up, I won't outspeed other Talonflames. I might get a bulkier Talonflame in that case. Not really sure. I have to look into speed tiers for that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace. I decided to double edge the Cube because I'm thinking, you know, it's actually probably the biggest threat to my team right now. He really makes a great prediction here and goes straight into the Ferrothorn, and